And we are live with the Combatcast, ready to go talk some UFC 307 and this past week's fight night. First, let's tell them about our sponsor.
Yes, we'd like to thank the sponsor for the show, Game Up. They make a thirst-quenching adult beverage with a special blend of electrolytes. Comes in 4 flavors: fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape.
All right, and it's only 110 calories. It's low carb, so no guilt. Just enjoy your Game Up. And Chevy, let's tell people what we got coming up real quick.
October 12th, UFC Fight Night, Royval versus Tyra. It's a pretty exciting flyweight matchup. And then October 19th, UFC Fight Night, Hernandez versus Pereira. Also, we'll have to talk about the PFL pay-per-view, Ngannou versus Ferreira that week as well. And then October 26th, UFC 308, Topuria versus Holloway. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I mean, Topuria has just been on fire, but Holloway is still, to me, like one of the best strikers of all time. And stylistically, I feel like this is a very, very interesting fight. So
yeah, looking forward to that one for sure. Bit nervous, but great fight.
Let's get into this past week's fight night. We'll just talk about the co-main event and the main event. Unless there's anything else you want to report on from this fight night, Chevy.
Yeah, shout out to the French crowd. They were really on fire. It was a great crowd. Also shout out to Brian Battle for hating the French crowd and flipping them off and saying there's no way I was going to lose to a Frenchman. That was hilarious. So shout out to him as well. But it's going to be a longer show today. So let's talk about this co-main event. Nasruddin Imavov versus Brendan Allen. Did you get a chance to watch this?
I did. And what I just thought was that Brendan Allen first came out and really controlled that first round. But then I thought Imavov just found his groove and he was really able to stop the takedowns. And he was kind of able to control. He was able to be on top. He was more active overall with the strikes. What I did think at time was when Brendan Allen was letting his hand go throughout the fight, he was doing well. Not well enough where I'd say, okay, he definitely would have won, but he was having some success. But for some reason, he was just so committed to trying to go down. And the corner was yelling, get him down, get him down. And I know he had some issues with the weight cut that he was very vocal about that. And it wasn't that he wasn't on weight. It was that they wanted blood from him and they wanted urine from him and they wanted from Hanato as well. And basically not the other two fighters in the main event who were from France. So
it was right after the weigh-in, so they weren't allowed to rehydrate.
Yeah.
Because of that. So that the longer that you're dehydrated, the more it affects you, obviously. So
absolutely. So I get his point. So, I mean, if that's how it went down, fucked up. Didn't matter for Hanato. We'll get to that fight in a minute. But, yeah. So, overall, I thought, Imavov is just another big win in a row, though, for this guy. And he wants a title shot. I mean, he's right there.
Yeah, he did just beat Cannonier. So, I think that's the big, feather in his cap. So, yeah, I agree with your assessment of the fight as well. I wish that maybe he had tried to go on the feet. He was doing well on the feet as well. But obviously the game plan was take him down and choke him out. He got that takedown in the first round. Looked pretty good, but Imavov did a good job stopping it after that. So I don't think that Brendan Allen looked like he was really on his game, but shout out to Imavov. That's another big time guy in feather in his cap. So back to the drawing board for Allen and Imavov. I think, maybe one more in a title shot. I'm not sure.
I mean, I don't know if they'd give it to him, but if Adesanya just wants to have a fight and he's trying to get back on the win track, that's a huge fight and could have title implications still. So, I would say that might be something to consider for Imavov if that fight's out there.
I would like to see him against maybe Apollo Costa or Vittori too. Those guys are, up there kind of holding up rankings too. So we'll see. But let's move on to the main event. Renato Moicano versus Benoit Saint Denis.
What a game plan. Renato gets him down, uses his advantage, in the grappling, and basically really beats him up right off the get. I want to say Saint Denis threw a kick, and he caught and then he brought him down, and Moicano was just all over him, opened up that eye, and Saint Denis, Benoit Saint Denis, to his credit, he survives that round, and I thought, honestly, the look on his face, never judge a book by his cover, like in between around the corner talking to him. I'm like, this guy looks beaten to me, But he was beat up. So he was just beat up and he was walking out slow. But, man, he came out there and he still fought his ass off. And I thought he even had some moments there. But at the end of the day, in between rounds, the doctor, they look at the cut. The cut was really bad.
His eye was also really swollen. He couldn't see out of it. So.
Right, really swollen. He could see out of one eye, but then when they got the other eye, he was, he couldn't. And hey, credit to the doctor because, a lot of times the doctors feel that pressure and they don't want, especially with a French crowd. He did the right thing. And it's a bummer for Benoit Saint Denis because I think he was still performing well, but that cut was just in a bad place. And congrats to Renato.
Yeah, BSD did not look ready to go in the first round. I don't know if he didn't warm up properly or Moicano was just game, but respect to him for coming out in the second round. I thought he won that second round too. I don't know what the scorecard said, but to come out after the ass whooping he got in the first round, I mean, that was as bad a one round whooping I've seen anyone take without getting stopped. So obviously he's an absolute dog, so respect to him. And then coming out and winning is, although I did take this with a grain of salt, I did see that Moicano said he let off him because he knew he was going to beat him and he didn't want to hurt him bad after that first round, so he let off a little bit. So whatever, if he did, he did. If not, it's still Benoit went for it. So I'm with you though. It's unfortunate, but the doctor did have to stop that fight. He couldn't see. He took such a bad beating. Go on to fight another day. So great for Moicano, although did see he didn't move up in the rankings. So BSD was number 12. Moicano was number 11. He stayed at 11. So unfortunate for him. He was also upset that he didn't get a bonus, which they gave out a few bonuses. I thought Moicano deserved one for just that first round. Dana probably thinks, well, maybe you should have got the finish if you wanted the bonus, but you know how it is. So Moicano called out Patty, and that's definitely what I want to see next. I think that's a good progression for Patty, and it's a very exciting fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think you can lose because Moicano is, he's putting together some steam, and if he beats Patty, he continues that momentum. And Patty, if he wins, he continues that momentum. And stylistically, like Patty's going to offer something on the ground. And
he's much bigger than Moicano, I think, too. Like size-wise, I think he's a lot bigger.
Stylistically, it's an interesting fight. Moicano, I would say by strength of competition and everything like that, and just how he's looked against some of these top elite people, I would favor him. Mm-hmm. But would Patty looking improved, especially in his last fight with Bobby Green, I thought just looked really on point. If he's that kind of focus and just bringing the style that he brings, I'm just going to say it's going to be an interesting fight, and I wouldn't be surprised either way. But I'll still probably favor Moicano, but I booked that fight.
Yeah. And as far as BSD goes, I hope he gets, a win going forward. I'd hate to see his career go on this trajectory where, like a Darren Till or something where they push a guy too soon. They gave him that Dustin Poirier fight because he was demolishing people, and hopefully he doesn't just start stringing together a bunch of losses. Hopefully he can get back in the win column because I am a fan of that guy. So, all
right,
let's move on now.
UFC 307, Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree, Light Heavyweight Championship. Pereira is just an active fighter. He keeps going here. He keeps defending his title. I'm all for it. I love both these guys. Let's get to this card.
Of note for this card is it's in Salt Lake City, so there is some elevation, so that may, play a factor into some of these fights. But yeah, the whole card is fire. So leading off the entire fight card on the early prelims, Court McGee versus Tim Means. That is such a fun fight. Casuals probably don't know who these guys are, but people who have been around a little while, that fight's going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward to that one.
I'll go with Means. I don't know about you.
I'll go with Court. I think it could go either way. Yeah, I like both guys. I just want a fun fight. But Carla Esparza has her retirement fight that night on the prelims against Tisha Pennington. Both ladies have been out because they just had kids. So good. Hopefully they do some nice video package because Carla was, the first champion for strawweight women. So. And then Ryan Spann versus OSP is on the prelims as well. That'll be real fun too. Good luck to OSP. I think he's going to need it. And then was on the main card, but got moved down to the featured bout of the prelims, Wonderboy versus Joaquin Buckley. This has potential to be fight of the night.
That's incredible. Wonderboy is getting older. I think I'm going to lean towards Buckley in that one, but man, it could go either way. I like both of them, but I'm always kind of root for Wonderboy. He's such a good guy and a dynamic fighter. That should be fun.
I think stylistically, this is a good matchup for Wonderboy. I think, he's definitely lost some speed, but he's still very quick. So if he can avoid, getting blitzed and had a big shot land on him, I think he outpoints Buckley for sure. All right. Main card, let's go. Roman Dolidze versus Kevin Holland.
All right, Roman is 13-3, 7 KOs, 3 subs, 3 decisions. He's 7-3 in the UFC. He's never been finished as a pro. Kevin Holland, 26-11, 26-11-1, 14 KOs, 8 subs, 4 decisions, 13-8-1 in the UFC. This guy, he's tied Roger Hucha and Neil Magny for most wins in a calendar year in the UFC. Most bouts in a 12-month period in the UFC, 7 from May 2020 to April 21. Loves to stay active. He loves to go for finishes. He's fought everybody. I'd say he's a little inconsistent at times. I'm going to pick him. I don't know. I I hope he's on, but I could see this fight going either way. I'll go with Kevin Holland with a submission. I'll say he gets a guillotine choke, round 2.
I'm desperate for Holland to get on a win streak. I think he's so much fun. He's such a great character, but he has an obvious weakness, and that's wrestling. Roman's pretty well rounded. I think if he can, he's going to try to hold Kevin down, which will open up some submission opportunities for Kevin, who is a Travis Lutter black belt. He has them. He has all those very long limbs. He can lock some stuff up, but I don't think that's his clearest way to victory. I hope that Dolidze decides he wants to strike, and that'll give Kevin some opportunities to work him on the feet. He can set traps for him. He can style on him a little bit, maybe land some flying knee or something. But I think safe money would be on Dolidze getting a decision win with a lot of takedowns. Even if he doesn't do a lot with the takedowns, he mixes them in enough to throw Kevin off. So I'll pick Dolidze by decision.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Ketlen Vieira versus Kayla Harrison.
All right, Vieira is 14-3. She's got 2 KOs, 4 subs, 8 decisions. She's 8-3 in the UFC. This is the fun stat here. Highest takedown defense percentage in UFC women's bantamweight division history at 92.9%. So that's good. You're going to need that because you're going up against Kayla Harrison, 17-1, 6 KOs, 7 subs, 4 decisions. She was
2 Olympic judo gold medals.
Yeah. So Harrison's thing is she takes everybody down and beats them up. Caitlin, I love that statistic on you. It's definitely what you want, but I don't think you're gonna be able to stop Kayla Harrison here. I got Kayla Harrison submission. I'll say Caitlin gets out of the first round. We'll say again submission round 2.
Yeah, Ketlen is very strong for a bantamweight. as well, but nobody is stronger than Kayla. Kayla looks like a tank at bantamweight. Ketlen's probably better on the feet, not more powerful, but technically better on the feet. But it's just a matter of time before Kayla gets her down. So she's going to get her down, submit her, and then call for a title shot. So I'll say that she gets it done in round 3. I think Ketlen is tough, and she's going to take a beating when she gets on the ground, but I think she'll survive until, round 3.
All
right. Very fun fight here. Jose Aldo versus Mario Bautista.
All right. Mario Bautista is 14-2, 3 KOs, 6 subs, 5 decisions, 8-2 in the UFC. But Aldo, he's a legend. 32-8, 17 KOs, 1 subs, 14 decision. He's already in the UFC Hall of Fame. He was a UFC featherweight champion 2 times, interim champion, and he had most successful title events in UFC history with 7, I believe, in that featherweight division. So Aldo's been around the block, but the thing about it is he still fights very, very well, and you still got to be at a certain level to beat him. And I don't know if Mario Bautista, who's really good, is at that level yet. I will take Jose Aldo by decision.
Bautista has won 6 in a row, but he's relatively unknown. I think the UFC is doing Aldo dirty, trying to feed him to Mario, who is a beast. Mario has all these wins, but obviously Aldo is a great name on the resume. And I think the UFC's, they have an idea that they'd like to maybe build Mario here. But that being said, I think Aldo is still Aldo. And stylistically, this is a good matchup for him. It's not someone that he has to worry about a lot of takedowns. It's going to be mostly a Muay Thai match, and that's where Aldo thrives. So I think he plays spoiler, and he gets a round 1 TKO. I think Mario goes in there feeling confident. Maybe he lands a couple shots, and Aldo touches him up and then finishes him with some left hook to the body or something. All right. Our first title fight of the night, Raquel Pennington versus Julianna Pena.
Raquel Pennington, the champ, 16-8, 1 KO, 4 sub, 11 decisions. She was on the Ultimate Fighter 18. So she's been around for a little bit here. She's had a lot of fights. Pena was on that season too, now that I think about it here. I don't have that written down, but she was. Pena was 11-5, 3 KOs, 5 subs, 3 decisions. She's 7-3 in the UFC. She's the former UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion. She won the Ultimate Fighter, actually, on that season. And here's the thing. Raquel Pennington is tough. She's a dog, as they say. She's tough. She'll grind out decisions. I think Pena might be a little more dangerous. I think she'll be able to get her on the ground. Pena beat Amanda Nunes before. I think that was probably an off night by Amanda Nunes, but beating Amanda Nunes on an off night it still says a lot. And I don't know. I just feel like I see Pena being able to take her down at some point here. And I think when she does, I think she's going to get some ground and pound. I think we're going to see a new champ. I say round 3.
First off, whoever wins is getting demolished by Kayla after this. So I think stylistically, she's a bad matchup for both girls. But as far as this fight's concerned, I would normally say Pena is a shoo-in, but she's been out for a couple of years. Plus, like you said, Pennington is a dog, and she's on a great win streak. She has like 6 or 8 wins in a row or something like that. I think I'm going to pick her to drag Pena into deep water and do what she does and grind out a close decision win.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I can see it. So you're right about that inactivity. That's something to be considered. So
yeah. Plus, coming back with the ring rust plus the altitude factor, and Raquel is such a dog, getting tired is not going to affect her. She's going to just keep going. So I think there's a lot of variables that lean towards her. Even if I don't think she's more skilled than Pena at anything in the octagon. But all right, let's move on. Main event. Super excited for this stylistically, even though a lot of people are hating on this fight. Alex Pereira versus Khalil Rountree Jr.
All right, Roundtree Jr. is 13-5-1, 9 KOs, no subs, 4 decisions. He's had performance of the night 4 times, third most knockouts in UFC Light Heavyweight Division history, third most knockdowns landed in UFC Light Heavyweight Division history. And then you got Alex Pereira, who's 11-2, 9 KO, 2 subs, and he's already been a 2 weight class champion. He was an elite kickboxer and a 2 weight class champion at that. And we've never really seen anybody go from kickboxing to MMA and been this successful other than Israel Adesanya, who took his time and had more fights than this. But Pereira has just had this rocket ship climb. He continues to work on everything. He's humble. He's a workhorse. It's a dangerous fight because of the way Roundtree fights. He could catch Pereira. Don't think he couldn't. That being said, stylistically, it's a great fight for Pereira too. So I'm going to go Pereira. I think this train keeps rolling in. I got a bad feeling possibly something could happen, but I'm going to ignore it because common sense just tells me Pereira's going to win this. This might not get out of the first round because both the way these guys like to fight, but I'll say it goes to round 3 and we're going to have some fireworks. Round 3, TKO, Alex Pereira wins.
Yeah, this is such a fun fight. Assured to be a kickboxing match, which will be great for a main event when it's, 1 o'clock in the morning or whatever. I wonder what the odds are on a takedown even being attempted in this fight. I think the only way I see that happening is if somebody gets hurt, they drop to the ground and try to grab a leg. That's the only way I see a takedown attempted. So Khalil has great power, but obviously Alex has a technical advantage and loads of power himself. I think Khalil's best chance is to just try to rush him early in the first round, maybe catch him off guard, hit him before he gets in a rhythm and starts setting traps for Khalil. Because Khalil, he throws everything with 100% power. He's so powerful, and he can actually back Alex up.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to do that, though. I think he's going to come out and try to be measured and, he is a great kickboxer, but I think just technically not as proficient. So I think we're going to see a great striking match, particularly brutal leg kicks from both guys. We know Alex has the that little calf kick he does that is just nullifies so many guys. And then we have Khalil does that jumping side kick to people's legs he tore that one guy. I can't remember his name now. He has a very long name, but he tore that guy's ACL and he's been out. He's only had 1 fight since then. That was years ago. So I think after they throw a few leg kicks at a while, eventually Alex sets him up for that left hook and he catches him. So I'll say round 4 TKO for Alex Chama.
Okay. Well, there we go. So we're thinking this is going to go a few rounds, but ultimately Alex will get the finish. And if it goes a few rounds, this is one of those fights where I'm saying it's probably going to be pretty entertaining.
I would not be upset if Khalil won. I'm a big fan of Khalil as well. So I like both these guys. So yeah,
when I say like a bad feeling, I mean like I have this feeling I could just feel like an upset coming. Like I won't be upset about it at all. I'll feel bad for Alex because I really like him a lot too. But yeah, it'd be a great story for Khalil Rountree to kind of stick it to all his haters too and pull this off. But I don't know. At the end of the day, like I said, like you said, I just got to go Pereira just because it's going to probably be a striking match, and I would just favor him in any of those. But anyway, that's the card, guys. UFC 307. Check it out. It should be a banger. Chevy, why don't we tell people what we're going to be talking about next week?
All right, October 12th, UFC Fight Night, Royval versus Tyra. Obviously, we'll be reviewing this fight card as well. And then October 19th, UFC Fight Night, Hernandez versus Pereira, which is a very fun fight night card. And we'll also be talking about Ngannou versus Ferreira. That's a huge heavyweight fight. Francis's first fight back after his boxing. That'll be a PFL pay-per-view. And then October 26th, UFC 308, Topuria versus Holloway.
All right, some good fights coming up. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy UFC 307 this weekend. and enjoy some Game Up.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at Drink